What are you trying to... Bro, you have been acting like a homosexual bold Riddler for the past 24 hours.
Will be, you know...
Okay, so I feel like you're trying to do this gay little gotcha with the fact that this recording got recorded. Like, dude, I wish you'd just stop being a gay Riddler and just lay your facts on the table.
I'm not trying to call you a hypocrite. I thought we were having a chill... Are we having a chill talk or are we fighting? I wanted you to talk about your opinion.
Wait, listen, I was having a bit of a chill talk, but then you came in like the gay Riddler again. But you've watched Dogpack's original videos.
No, as I said in the video you watched.
So you've not watched Dogpack's video? Okay.
Hello.
Hello, mate. How's it going?
Is it working? It's going okay. How things change. Just last month, I was talking about how your opinion on Dogpack's bias didn't go far enough, and now it seems like you're saying the same about me.
Oh, really? Is that true?
Yeah, do you want the clip?
Sure, go on.
Whoop.
Let's have a look. I'm going to get raped here, aren't I?
I just remembered I said it and I forgot.
Let's have a look.
It's a bit slow because I was just
Chud's commentary focused on.
I think I called him a stain on the label of citizen journalism as well.
Let's have a look. Right. Let me just... Oh, here we go. Share my screen. Let me share the right thing. Okay, let's have a look. Where is it? Messy Monday. That's you, isn't it?
Yes. Okay. Prepared to be bored out of your mind, but
The extreme beast bloodlust clouding their judgment, such that they do something that's potentially, depending on how the material is actually classified, is very illegal.
Wait, okay. What time? I'll go back a bit. I'll go back a bit, okay?
Fuck!
Okay. It's okay. We'll figure it out.
Two different things. My overall take, Siffy, is he's incredibly fucking
okay. Hold spacebar and it goes faster, or 2 times it.
I think Chud's commentary focused on
well, it looks like it looks like the rapee has become the raped.
Extreme beast bloodlust clouding their judgment, such that they do something that's potentially, depending on how the material is actually classified, is very illegal. I'd take that a step further and say so the degree is crazy to override self-preservation. Like what the fuck?
I basically just say you should have said he's fucking suicidally retarded to do what he did with the CP stuff. I think we were a little bit too mild.
Okay, bro. What are you trying to... Bro, you have been acting like a homosexual bold Riddler for the past 24 hours, okay? Like, what is your fucking problem, dude? You're on fucking Twitter.
Blow your mind?
No, wait. You were on Twitter going, oh, Nicholas, if you can count to 3, maybe you'll understand what I'm trying to say. Bro, what the fuck is your problem, dude?
Oh, we can do that now, or we can do that after, because I heard you didn't like my take on secret recordings.
Yeah, I mean, there's nuance to that. Sure, we can talk about it, but yeah. I mean, you know, because obviously there are times when I think secret recordings have been used and stuff. I'm sure, you know, I remember President Sunday when I first met that guy. You know, I think there was a recording that I used in my coverage there. So,
did you get? Because I didn't watch you responding to my video. I feel like that's cheating. But of course, I have people messaging me going, "He's saying this, he's saying that." My criticism of Soggy there is really that he let Dogpack off easy by making it just about this guy being a fucking victim and ooh, it was secretly done. It was without his consent. It was without his consent. Instead, what you can do is you can attack the prima facie justification of the recording in the first place. If you ask the guy, did you say that? And he said no. Dogpack's justification for the guy starting recording is fucked. So it wasn't even justified in being recorded. And then 2, if you attack the content of it, and make sure it is absolutely in no way relevant to the public interest, then also the publication isn't justified. And he's just fucked, and there is no way to justify it.
Okay. It would have been great if you'd have said that in the video, to be honest, and then I probably would have agreed wholeheartedly with you, but you didn't frame it like that.
But that's boring.
Okay.
It's a polemic. You illustrate your perspective through attack.
Okay. I mean, this just comes across like Yeah, I was being retarded for the point of my video, right? I mean, you said you don't care about your first video anymore, and you put it out in a certain way to get a certain response, and I'm taking it on face value. What? You won?
He disclosed. He disclosed and went above and beyond, and in the disclosure included the answers to everything I asked for. I was chatting to him about it yesterday.
What? Soggy?
Yeah.
Okay. What, on your stream or privately, or?
Oh, just in DMs.
Okay.
He seems pretty chill. I think he got taken for a bit of a ride, to be honest.
Bro, this is total cancer. You're coming on and being like, you know, it's a totally different narrative to what you've said in your videos that I've watched in good faith to criticize what I disagree with. And now you've come on with like a different story.
No. I think he's a total fuck up.
Okay, but then...
And that's how he got taken advantage of.
Right. But the way you were painting it in the video is that he was, you know, you were at least suggesting that he was some sort of malicious actor in how he was going about this.
Or retarded. I think you took issue with me saying he's either severely retarded or evil.
That was the first video, but at the start of it... But wait.
Yeah.
That was the first video, which apparently you don't care about anymore, so I don't know what to make of that. But now in this new video...
extreme deception. I think it is extremely deceptive, yeah.
Okay, but now in this new video, at the start of the video, you make a statement, and it seems to suggest that you believe there's malice at play here because of the way he's edited the video.
Yeah.
Okay, but then you're saying you've spoken to him, and now you feel that he's more naive than anything else.
Let me explain.
Okay, go on, please.
I think he's been played into having those feelings. You know, when he talked about his interview, and I think it was in the interview with you, about how he was fired up and he wanted any harm that could come to him to come to him. He was cool with it. He's got to be sued, rah, all fired up.
Yeah.
Right? I think he cares about these people.
Yeah. I mean, you know, to be clear, I think that particularly with this new Mr. Beast interview coming out, you know, I think this has formed a brick in the PR campaign of Mr. Beast, and I do think
for sure.
Yeah, and I do think that Soggy's been taken for a bit of a ride.
And I think this was strategized.
Yeah, but
I genuinely suspect this is fuckery.
Sure, but then I don't think this is like a product of them saying, "Hey, Soggy, we'll pay for your flight. Come out and give us a juicy, you know, we'll give you a juicy interview, and you can make us look good." It was more, you know, surreptitious from the Mr. Beast level, and it's taken advantage of Soggy's naivete more than anything else, I feel.
Yeah, sure, which I find to be unacceptable. You shouldn't allow that to happen to you. This is a huge reason you don't accept those sorts of gifts. You know, the number one reason you avoid accepting favors, travel, special gifts, so on and so forth. What's the number one thing that is jeopardized by that?
Your ability to, I don't know, accurately reflect and relay your perspective on it or something? Is that what you mean?
Kind of independence.
Independence, yeah, sure, okay, yeah, okay.
If the thing you've produced, now Soggy will say, I could have produced the same thing otherwise, just it would have been online. Well, you didn't. This video only exists the way it does because of the funding of a producer for Mr. Beast.
Yeah, sure, and you know, I agree, and this is why I asked the question in the interview. It should have been disclosed. Ideally, you pay for it yourself, and if you really can't, and it's the only way to make this thing happen, it should be disclosed, right?
Yeah, and he agrees. And he agrees that it should have happened from the start.
Right, yeah, sure. So you know, but then a lot of the points you were making in your videos suggested a lot more heavy criticism of Soggy than I thought was warranted, on the basis that...
Like what?
You know, like for example, claiming he's like a malicious actor, or insinuating he's a malicious actor. Like, I don't think that was reasonable.
That he feels malice towards Dogpack. I.e. ill will. He wishes for him to be sued.
Okay, but that's a more nuanced point. But you know, the way that you presented it suggested...
I think wishing for someone to be sued is ill will, is malice.
Right.
Wanting any outcome that could happen to him, he deserves it. I'd suggest that's a feeling of malice.
Okay, but that's a very specific feeling of malice towards Dogpack. And if that had influenced the big revelations that you made about Dogpack, then yeah, I would probably agree with that kind of assessment. But
what were the big revelations about Dogpack?
That he,
in your opinion,
sure, that he didn't disclose that he was fired by a guy he later levied these kind of smorgasbord of allegations against, this LaCoya Hill guy. That should have been...
How was that disclosed? Was that the recording?
Yeah, that was the recording of the firing. Yeah.
Did he have any expectation of privacy regarding that recording?
I'm not sure. I mean, normally those kind of things are recorded as a matter of course.
No, I don't care about the recording itself. I mean the publication of it. The recording and the publication are two different things to consider. Normally, journalistic outlets, in particular, if you look at their guidance, they will separate the two. I know you get BBC on your phone all the time, right? I've heard you mention that. BBC's guidance is very clear. For them, they separate them. Obviously, that's one outlet, and that doesn't mean that's just how it is. But I think there are obvious differences. Because if you have a prima facie evidence that means, oh, it's good to start recording, that doesn't mean what you end up recording will be,
Okay, so I feel like you're trying to do this gay little gotcha with the fact that this recording got recorded. Like, dude, I wish you'd just stop being a gay Riddler and just fucking lay your facts on the table. This is very fucking obnoxious.
Oh, you want the cool thing? All right.
Bro,
I asked you if
it's
you
like,
could...
no, wait, hang on, wait. I'm not responding to your point yet, okay? God, right. Why are you being like this? You're being a gay Riddler. Can't we just speak normal?
Sorry, I thought you were going to grill me.
Well, no, I just wanted to, bro, I said to you, I just wanted to have a chill conversation. You're coming in with all these fucking gotchas, okay?
Oh,
so, I would probably agree, yeah, there's a criticism to be had there in regards to that call getting released, sure. If we want to make a criticism of the Garrett thing, fair enough. But I do also think we've got this information that LaCoya Hill is the guy that hired that fired Dogpack, so that creates a massive conflict of interest, and it presents him as a disgruntled employee rather than as he presented himself as someone who's just trying to expose Mr. Beast for the right reasons. How do we get that information to the public without releasing that call?
Yeah, and that's one way in which private recordings can be justified.
Right,
However,
exactly.
You use that as an example of why, overall, the video is good or valuable, and I suppose is less deserving of criticism, or that's not quite right. But...
it's not that... No.
Regarding that.
Okay. I'm not saying that you can't criticize Soggy. I'm not saying I've got a problem with criticizing Soggy. I myself have levied criticisms against Soggy. Okay?
Sure.
It's just that, it feels very obnoxious to do this autist microscope on every element of his video when there's this massive, tremendous pile of shit that Dogpack has created. And then at multiple points of your coverage, you've gone, I don't care about that. Oh, people probably care about that because they like watching Dogpack get taken down. And whilst that's somewhat true, I think it doesn't really contextualize the narrative of this story and how it's spun over the course of months. And Dogpack has been propped up and pushed forward repeatedly as this source, as this person that's really destroying Mr. Beast and is levying these allegations and we should believe them. So even if SoggyCereal has been imperfect in the way he's gone about it, even if there's an element of PR influence, it just feels very obnoxious to go so hard on Soggy when there's this other guy that has done way worse.
Hey, Chud, what's the point of credibility? Why do you need trust?
You need trust because people need to believe that what you're saying and what you're doing is worth listening to and true and factual.
Money off depressed people.
Not quite.
Cooney64 became a member.
They have to be confident.
Cooney64 celebrates 3 months of...
Right, okay.
If he's behaved that way, that calls into question the possibility that you've been misled even in the sharing of a factual phone call that occurred. Or, sorry, not a phone call, if it was in person. I don't remember if that LaCoya thing was.
So, okay, I see where you're coming from.
Is there information surrounding it?
Surrounding what, sorry?
If I can't check and I have to trust him, that recording.
I mean, obviously, yeah, there could be more to the recording. There could be more that he released. I mean, to me, I feel like he's released enough to demonstrate that there's this massive conflict of interest.
You've done some really sketchy omissions, right? You didn't agree that the Jake Weddle Dogpack thing regarding the war crimes stuff.
Okay, wait, hold on. I feel like you're doing the thing where we're jumping from point to point to point. Okay, can we address this recording thing because we're already moving on from that, and I don't really feel like we've adequately hashed that out, and we've not even talked about this other aspect of the recording from the Garrett guy, right?
Sure.
Okay. So your claim is that releasing this recording is some sort of journalistic impugnment on SoggyCereal. Is that correct?
No, I just asked you a question about it.
Okay.
You're talking about gotchas, but then you're reading in too much into what I'm saying, man.
Okay. Maybe I need to chill out a little bit. Your Riddler stick has pissed me off, okay? I will say.
My point, okay, Chud.
Just make your point plainly. Let's go.
Is that you were going, from what I understand, you were going quite hard in your disapproval of violations of privacy and, releasing recordings and stuff. But that consideration can be applied to that recording. What is the bar for that being enough in the public interest?
Okay. So the differentiation I would make...
to justify the violation in privacy.
Sure. The differentiation I would make is Dogpack is someone who has pushed in very large videos and has got a lot of attention on himself, and he's pushed all these allegations against Mr. Beast, and he himself has kind of dismissed the idea that he's a disgruntled employee, right? And this recording provides vital context to this story that he is, in fact, very likely a disgruntled employee, and he's levied allegations against someone, a very haphazard way, multiple different allegations against this one guy, and this person is the guy that is responsible for firing him. Whereas this other recording is a recording that seems to be gossip between two ex-employees, recorded discreetly. Maybe this other one was recorded discreetly, so we can make that point. But the only purpose of releasing it is to dishonestly prop up a narrative that Dogpack wants to push that hasn't been proven in any meaningful way, that he definitively knew and was trying to help this Delaware guy expunge his record. That's where I'd make the difference.
All right. I disagree that it's necessarily across the bar of counting as being enough in the public interest to violate someone's right to privacy.
Do you think it's in the public... Wait a second. Do you think it's in the public interest to let people know that despite this very public figure that he's levied multiple allegations, saying that he's not a disgruntled ex-employee, that there's some evidence that he is a disgruntled employee? You don't think that's relevant or necessary to the story?
I don't think that recording is necessary to demonstrate that.
How would you demonstrate it? Okay. How would you demonstrate it then?
I think it's clear on its face. He's a fucking freak.
Bro, you are so... Okay, bro. I'm trying to... You are so fucking delusional about this, bro.
I've
You say it's clear on his face.
about.
Wait. You say it's clear on his face, but that's not the fucking public perception. The public perception is that Dogpack is, just a guy that's trying to expose Mr. Beast for the right reasons. Okay? That has been the narrative for months now, and I don't think that someone coming forward, particularly if they've not disclosed they've been paid by Mr. Beast, saying, trust me, bro, this guy got fired by LaCoya Hills, so he probably is a disgruntled employee, I don't think that would have been enough.
Hey, that's your opinion. Fine.
Okay, that's my opinion.
Yeah.
But so you disagree with that then? You just think it should just be known that Dogpack is likely a disgruntled employee, even though the narrative has been against that?
No, I'm fine with the recording being released. I haven't said otherwise. What the fuck are you doing? You said it was a chill talk, so I just put out chill fucking things.
Okay, but you tried to use it as a point of hypocrisy, it felt like. And I'm saying, I can see where you're coming from. I don't think it's hypocritical. I think there's a good reason to release this and there's not a good reason to release that. And now you're going, whoa, that's fine to release it, actually.
I'm not trying to call you a hypocrite. I thought we were having a chill... Are we having a chill talk or are we fighting? I wanted you to talk about your opinion.
Wait, listen, I was having a bit of a chill talk, but then you came in like the gay Riddler again.
All right. Can we do the gay Riddler thing?
Okay.
Do you want to know why I talked about counting to 6?
Okay, no. I feel like you're trying to move on from this.
No?
No, okay. I feel like you're trying to move on from this point. I think I've made a very good argument to justify this, and now you're just going, well, I agree with you anyway. Where before it seemed like you had an issue.
Where in my video did I say anything about the LaCoya tape?
Okay, but you've made points...
When have I ever said anything? You're trying to force this as a focus. So I tried to play along, and now you're trying to focus on that instead of going to something where you're scared you might have a problem.
No. Okay, I'm not scared. Listen, we can go wherever you want, mate. Okay? I'm easy. I'm easy like a Sunday morning. I'm just saying that the way you presented it gave a lot of criticisms in regards to, how Soggy handled the Dogpack call. And I'm just saying... And then you
could have done that way better.
You could have done it better, but then you're presenting as some sort of hypocrisy, this idea that this leaking of this call is hypocritical if I don't think that's bad. Then I explain why I think it's okay, and you go, well, I agree with you. Do you not see what's happening there?
I was asking based on my previous impression of your statements regarding these releases and these recordings.
But then you said you disagree, but now you say that you agree it's fine to release it.
Wait, disagree with what? When did I say I disagree with releasing that tape? The LaCoya
You said you disagreed with my reasoning for releasing the tape, did you not?
I talked about not being sure that it hits the barrier for public interest.
Okay, well that is at least soft disagreement then, is it not?
I guess.
Right. So you did disagree with me, but now I've put my reasoning out in a more, precise way. You agree? Yes?
Sure, you convinced me. You convinced
Okay,
me.
I'm not trying to say that, dude. I'm not trying to say that I convinced you, okay? It's just I'm trying to track the conversation and it feels like you've expressed some sort of disagreement or some sort of hypocrisy pointed out.
Right. I gotcha.
Okay.
Sure, the LaCroix tape thing is fine.
Okay.
I'm being overly combative. I'm being overly combative.
I'm being combative too, right? So I take some responsibility for that. But fucking hell, dude.
I'm just being too spicy. The thing with the LaCroix thing is like, that's not something I have a particular interest in. So you bring it up and I'm like, I'm going to be fucking spicy about this to make it interesting.
Okay. Going back to the Garrett thing, I actually agree that you could have handled that better. And he could have asked, more pressing questions about it, certainly. I guess that I just look at it and I think, well, Dogpack is claiming something. And I find it very difficult to take him on face that this is something that was said. So I don't really lend much weight to the idea that he said this thing. And
What's Dogpack claiming?
What's
the Dogpack claim?
So the Dogpack claim was that this Garrett guy had said, just before the recording started, that they were trying to get Delaware's record expunged. And that isn't evidenced anywhere, as far as I know. No one's been able to prove that's the case.
Why do you know Dogpack made that claim?
Because he said it in his video.
Yeah. Did Soggy include it in his?
No, and he should have done.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't want it to seem like I disagree with everything you said. Like, there's some stuff I'm like, yeah,
gotcha.
Soggy could have done a better job. I don't disagree. But it's just an example for me where I'm like, okay, we've got this here which we can criticize, getting the hyper-autism microscope out, but then we looked at Dogpack and it's like, way worse. Not saying you can't criticize Soggy for that, I just think it's, I guess, more interesting to talk about the fucked up shit that Dogpack has done. And that's the kind of revelation that I... Not just because it's worse.
This is some fucking whataboutism. Come on.
How is it whataboutism? I've addressed the criticism and agreed.
The Dogpack stuff is worse.
That's not whataboutism. Whataboutism is not addressing...
And so therefore what?
No, wait. Not therefore what? I have meaningfully engaged with the criticism of Soggy, right? And said he should have included that. And then I've addressed something that I think is bad about Dogpack, and that's why I care more about that. That's not what whataboutism means. Whataboutism is when you swerve around a criticism.
You were saying to me, there's this... You're talking to me, and your criticism is, I'm focusing on this when Dogpack's worse. Is that incorrect?
Yeah,
you just said I lack a focus on Dogpack, and that's worse.
It feels like, but I don't want it to seem like I'm not saying you can't criticize Soggy, right? It's fine to make a video criticizing Soggy. It just feels like you're hyper focusing on the criticisms of Soggy, in order to.
Yeah, because that's what interested me.
Okay, so that's fine.
You watched the video, and you inspired me to do it with your interview, in fact.
So so let me put it like this. Watching your video, the impression I got is you were hyper-focusing on issues of Soggy's video. Is that a fair criticism or claim about... not criticism even, claim about your video?
That's literally what the video is, yes.
Okay, then that's fine.
Can I just ask? You clicked on a video called SoggyCereal Sucks or a video called I Hate SoggyCereal, and your criticism that it's hyper-focusing on being negative towards SoggyCereal.
Yeah, and I think the reason that, if it was just literally, well, SoggyCereal did the stuff that's wrong, fine. But then you kind of make this dismissive claim about the reason people are so invested in the Dogpack stuff is, it's just a case of wanting to see Dogpack get shit on. Whilst there's an element of that, I think,
No, I didn't say that. I said maybe it's interesting to you if you're, invested in this and like to see him get ripped on. I.e., it's not interesting to me.
No. The way that you worded it, I'm fairly certain, at least suggested to me that you were being kind of dismissive of the video as, well, you're interested in the Dogpack stuff if you're really invested in it and you want to see him get taken down. But anyway, listen, it's fine. What was your point about the 5, count to 5? Go on.
Oh, we can do that. And by the way, I included the reason I said all that stuff that I think Nick Diori describes as like too cool for this sort of stuff is because I was warned that a sort of strat is to suggest someone's on a side when you criticize either side of this sort of thing. they go, oh, you're just doing this. So, for example, it might be Dogpack Dick Rider. I was actually talking to Nicandros about this. He was saying this to me. So I thought, oh, I should make it very clear that I'm not invested in this. And my interest is just in this particular video, this particular guy. So it wouldn't undermine.
Just to be clear, at no point have I ever said that you were Dogpack Dick Rider. I find that very cancerous.
You haven't.
Very annoying. And I don't agree with that.
Okay, do you want the count to 6 thing?
Sure. But this is more for Nicholas, I think, because, but Nicholas can't make it, I don't think. So.
I said it to him, but it's really about you, because his thing is a bit less interesting and woven into it. I watched a bit of your coverage.
Okay.
There was a particular thing you seemed to pog out about and liked very much and found interesting, or rather found very valid. And it was the point about Mr. Beast. He figured Best Buy would have done a background check.
And
that made sense. That made sense to you. A 19-year-old.
Hold on. Pog out. That makes it sound like I was literally was I soy facing?
You were saying like, yes, that's like exactly what a 19-year-old would think.
Okay. I just think it made like logical sense to me of that makes more sense than the idea that Mr. Beast was hiring a registered sex offender knowingly and having them on his staff, a potential risk to employ. Right, sure.
That makes more sense to you. Cool. And Soggy read that out. He said, Mr. Beast did it because he figured they would have background checked it.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What's backing up that claim?
What the claim that Best Buy would
the claim that that's why Mr. Beast didn't care to check. The claim that he thought Best Buy would have done a background check.
I mean, is Soggy saying it, I guess, or the video about the guy working at Best Buy, perhaps?
No, that's not the one.
Okay.
Do you not remember? Can we watch that section? And I want your take on it, because I need your context. I need your understanding.
Yeah. No, sure.
You were talking about me lacking context.
No, sure. The thing is, I guess the point is that like, it's just a kind of a guess. Is that the right term? It's like a guess or like a perception thing. I don't think it's like nailed on. That's definitively what happened. It just to me made sense that could be a series of events that could occur. I could imagine a 19-year-old going to Best Buy, wet behind the ears, burgeoning fame. Thinking, oh, this guy's probably been background checked, so it's fine to have him on.
Yeah, it's interesting you say guess. Right. It's very interesting you say guess.
An inference.
Yeah, no, guess is very important. Can we watch this little clip? And I want you to describe what's happening in the clip with your surrounding awareness of the situation, in contrast with me coming in as a Mr. Beast virgin.
Okay.
Hopefully that's the right timestamp. It should be obvious which section it is.
Okay, let me just throw this up real quick. Here we go. Right. Should be getting it now.
He explained that Delaware was once a store manager at Jimmy's local Best Buy, which, for the people who don't know, Best Buy is a $20 billion valued electronics retailer company with stores all over the US. I mean that when Jimmy was 19 and first started blowing up.
You don't have it. Just click on the stream in the... Cool. No?
I don't. Oh, watch stream. Sorry, I got it.
Okay. I'll just reload this, okay?
Yeah, sorry.
Well, he explained that Delaware was once a store manager at Jimmy's local Best Buy, which, for the people who don't know, Best Buy is a $20 billion valued electronics retailer company with stores all over the US. I mean that when Jimmy was 19 and first started blowing up on YouTube, Jimmy realized he needed employees to improve his content. So, as a dumbass, impulsive 19-year-old randomly thrown into fame, he went to his local Best Buy and asked its employees if they wanted to work for him. Naively thinking that a multi-billion-dollar company would have at least made sure to not hire criminals and especially to not hire a registered sex offender as store manager, 19-year-old Mr. Beast didn't do background checks. Was that stupid? Yes. Is Delaware a piece of shit? Yes. Should Jimmy take responsibility for making that mistake? Yes. But it wasn't this fucked up master plan.
Okay.
How would you characterize what was happening there in that clip?
I mean, Soggy is making like a very strong argument based on inferences of what happened there. It made sense to me when I watched it. I could probably accept that, there could be other information that could come out that could go against that. It could be proof that he knew in some way or something. But to me, I'm like, okay, that's a fairly reasonable inference, especially if that inference is in response to see people saying this guy knowingly hired a sex offender.
Yeah, here's where my perspective is completely different.
Okay.
To me, I see Soggy effectively reading out a script written based on secondhand information and guesses from an employee who was not there at the time.
Okay.
You think it's a problem that he's just reading that out, putting it on screen?
Well, I mean, when the claim is in response to, pretty much basically claiming that Jimmy knowingly hired a sex offender because Jake the Viking said so on Twitter.
Chud, what's the first sentence of the text he has up?
Which text?
If you skip back, the message.
By ability for criminals and especially to not hire.
Yeah. As far as Delaware goes, he was just a local Best Buy manager Jimmy found.
Right.
How does Dustin Harris know that?
Presumably off of asking and it being a video. There'd been a video about it.
There'd been a video about it.
Of Jimmy going in and speaking to these people and whatnot.
That doesn't prove that. As far as Delaware goes, he was just a local Best Buy manager Jimmy found. Why is he using an employee as a source? And it's not a primary source. He's just copying this guy, Dustin. And he's not even a fucking primary source.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I guess the question would be, who else could you ask about this? Mr. Beast himself? He said he didn't want to do that.
Weird, right?
I mean, the thing is yeah, sure, you could have used better sourcing for this, but I think this, even with that in mind, this explanation makes way more sense than what has been presented previously.
Makes sense? It's presented as fact. As far as Delaware goes, he was just a local Best Buy manager Jimmy found, says Dustin Harris.
Okay, but then you can watch the video and you can see him in the video. I mean,
how does that prove that he was just a local Best Buy manager? Just, nothing else. No other connection.
Okay, do you have another connection
of course,
in your back pocket?
That clip also cut out that the guy with them was Chris Tyson's ex-boss, right?
Yeah, see, the other person in the video was Chris Tyson's ex-boss. I agree with you, that should have been included, by the way. And I do think you should probably assess this with some, aspect of bias. But to me, it doesn't really change the fact that this still makes sense. Change? Obviously, SoggyCereal could have presented
problem as well.
Right, SoggyCereal could have presented this in a more cautious way. He could have said, according to Dustin, this is the story. Obviously, Dustin's biased, etc., etc. But it still doesn't really change the fact for me that this makes a lot of sense. There's a much funnier
point to make, especially regarding appearance of impropriety.
Okay.
Do you know what part of a producer's job is?
What's that?
Script selection.
Okay.
What's he doing? He's reading a script provided by a Mr. Beast producer. You don't find that funny?
I mean, I just think that he's speaking to someone that currently works for the company to give an alternative perspective. I don't think that this. I don't think this really is
what value is there to him as a source?
Well, he works for Mr. Beast, so he's got some level of communication to be able to check this. And there's a video that he shows as well.
Who did he ask? Where did this information come from?
Knowledge.
Mr. Beast employee is feeding information he doesn't know firsthand. Who could it have come from?
Bro, I feel like we're getting the red string out a bit here. Like, look, I agree with you. Assess this with caution. Be skeptical. But I feel like you're taking it all the way in the other direction, and we're moving to the point where this is a scripted thing that has been presented to him, and he's just reading a script. Okay, bro. I am not fucking there, bro. I am not fucking there with you, dude. I am not fucking there with you. And I don't want, listen, I don't want to get too cancer with this, but it's just so crazy that you're fucking spurking out about this, right? And doing the Pepe Silver thing. What have we had before? We've had fucking anonymous messages from supposed former Mr. Beast employees that we can't independently verify. So it's like, you know, we're making these claims off the back of absolute bullshit. And yes, approach this with skepticism, right? But I think this is, you know, a better guideline of what happened, likely, than an anonymous person claiming something or claiming they heard something in a call, or indeed the brother-in-law of this Delaware guy who, in the midst of like drama, is claiming that Jimmy knew, in my opinion, to potentially get heat off of himself. It's like all the information we've got to back up the idea that
I guess
Jimmy
they just
really
have
knew.
higher standards.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if you want to say like, you know, Soggy could have done a better job structuring this and talking about this, so as not to say it as factually.
Structuring this, no, I don't think he should have echoed something someone who is not a primary source told him when he doesn't actually know where this information is coming. I don't think he should have taken Dustin Harris literally making a guess and stated it as fact.
Right. Okay.
Makes me suspect undue influence, but also, regarding some weird things with Dustin Harris. Do you know if Mr. Beast gave permission for those interviews to happen?
I think, from what I understand, there was some sort of approval to conduct the interview because of NDAs obviously affecting them.
Approval with who?
Presumably some sort of manager at Mr. Beast or maybe Jimmy themselves.
Do you think Soggy knows?
Probably, yeah. I think he's mentioned it in
no,
his update.
He doesn't. He told me he doesn't know.
Well, no, he knows what? That they got approval. I mean, presumably he knows they got approval, but he probably doesn't know who they got it from.
I asked if Mr. Beast approved it. He doesn't know if it was Mr. Beast or not.
Right, okay.
Soggy told you that it was certain, it's been ensured that Mr. Beast doesn't know which employees were going to be interviewed. How do you think that was guaranteed?
It could have been dealt with by I guess a manager or something rather than Jimmy.
Soggy doesn't know. He was just told by Dustin and trusted him.
Okay.
And Dustin just told him, don't worry, they're safe from NDA, and Mr. Beast won't know. And he just trusted that from a producer at Mr. Beast.
Okay.
Isn't that a bit fucked?
Yeah, I think that, again, you know, Soggy is engaged in this in a way that demonstrates him being in over his head, his naivety, and I do think he's been led around the garden path a bit. I do think this has formed a part of, you know, the PR campaign of Mr. Beast. And I think things like the interview are probably like the weakest part of the video.
So, like, how do you make sure that people are protected from, you know, from NDA consequences? It's obvious, you know, what the interviewing is going to be about. And you prevent Mr. Beast from having an influence on that.
I mean, yeah, you should obviously take those interviews as what they are, which are current Mr. Beast employees expressing their perspective or their testimony while slightly being biased towards Mr. Beast. I don't think that's an unreasonable take.
There's a bit more to it, though, isn't there?
Okay. What's that?
Do you know, I think it's crazy for a video to be made that is funded by a Mr. Beast producer in order to facilitate in-person interviews that have been approved by Mr. Beast. If that ends up being the case.
Yeah, I mean, that should have been... I mean, ideally, he should have paid for the flights himself, but he couldn't, and he should have disclosed it.
It's the combination. It's the forest, not the trees.
Right, okay. What's that then?
What I just said. You don't see an issue with a producer at a company facilitating a video's production, de facto functioning as producer for that section.
I mean, yeah, this should have been disclosed. Yes. Then people can make their own minds up. I mean, I feel like we're going around the houses on this. I don't disagree that the way he's gone about this has impeded his credibility, and not disclosing it has had a negative impact on that. I mean, I don't know what else you want me to say. Like, yeah, I think it's bad that he did that, and he shouldn't have done that, and he should have disclosed it. It doesn't really debunk the broader points made about Dogpack. But yeah, sure, there's definitely issues with it, and I think the lack of disclosure has harmed him, and the public discourse has shown that. Obviously that's why I asked the question in the interview, because I thought it wasn't really clear, and in asking it, I think that has been the main thing that's brought the information to light. As much as you tried to take credit earlier for the little thing on the video, I think the fact I asked the question and he said that, and all this criticism has also led to him deciding to disclose it. So yeah, I'm just like,
I'm not taking credit for it.
It just feels like you're doing this thing where you're drilling down and drilling down and drilling down.
I got the thing I wanted.
Okay, you're drilling down and drilling down, and I'm just like, yeah, obviously there's issues with this video. I'm not saying that it's perfect. I never said it was perfect, and this lack of disclosure is a problem, and it's limited people from being able to look at it in a fair manner with all the information available to assess it accordingly. He should have disclosed it.
I think you should have credited Dustin Harris as a producer.
Right, so you think...
You think that would be fun?
Well, no, I don't think
Would it be wrong?
No, I don't think that you could really... no, I don't think that's necessary.
All right. There's something else I really wanted to talk about that you had a problem with.
Sure.
The Jake Weddle video. The video with Jake Weddle and Dogpack. You didn't seem to have a problem with him omitting Dogpack's comment that, no, this isn't technically a war crime. This doesn't violate the Geneva Convention. It's not technically torture because he's not a prisoner, right?
Well, I don't want to put it like that. I think he should have included it. I think that's a reasonable criticism that he should have included that. But I just think that with the video, the purpose of including it is to, affect a kind of emotional manipulation on the audience to make them see it that way and think that way. And a lot of the narrative after the video came out was, backing up that this had happened and this was torture. And so even though he did like a little disclaimer later and said like, oh, actually, I don't think that, I think it had a big impact on how people perceived it.
What's the relationship between Dogpack and Jake Weddle in that video?
Interviewer, interviewee?
Yeah. If your interviewee says something, and then you later challenge that thing your interviewee says, is it then right for someone else to attribute what your interviewee said to you and them, call it your accusation, and not include that you challenged the interviewee?
Did I not just wait? Did I not just say that should have been included?
You said it should have been included.
Right.
I want to focus on why it should have been included.
Oh my god. Okay. It should be included to give the full context so people can come to their own decision about it.
No, that's not why.
Okay.
Soggy falsely attributed a claim to Dogpack.
I don't think he falsely attributed a claim to Dogpack as strongly as you're claiming. I think Dogpack wanted that perception out there. He wanted people to think that, and he left a little proviso later.
It their claim.
Right. Okay. But then would you agree? Would you
Jake Weddle's claim?
But would you agree that, especially considering that people went away with that perception quite broadly, and it was discussed as a form of torture, that is the perception that Dogpack would have preferred people to have?
Would have preferred people to have? That doesn't matter if he's had a quote falsely attributed to him, or rather a claim falsely attributed to him.
I feel like I'm
Soggy is fucking falsely attributing claims to the guy he's attacking in his video. Why the fuck should I trust this guy's work?
Well, then don't trust the work, I guess, yeah.
Is that not a problem with Dogpack?
I just feel, yeah, sure. I mean, like I say, I feel like you're talking to me like I'm saying that Soggy is perfect, and everything that I've done, everything that he's done is perfect and beyond reproach, and I've got criticisms for the guy. But it feels like I'm giving criticisms, and that's not enough for you. And you want more. You want more from me. You want me to say, oh no, Soggy's this, that, and the other. Bro, I agree there's some stuff that he's done wrong.
I don't care what you say. Hey, that's fucking bullshit. You want me to say more. Is that not something you've complained about? You've said, oh, you're not saying you can't criticize.
No, the thing I'm saying is,
look what's over here. Look what's over here.
The thing that I'm saying is, I feel like and you've admitted this yourself, you were hyper-focusing on the criticisms of Soggy's video, right?
Admitted. That's all it was.
Right. But I feel like you've come to the story quite late. I mean, have you watched Dogpack's videos about this? I'm assuming you've watched it all?
No.
Oh, so you've not watched any of Dogpack's videos or anything?
No, I'm talking about these videos as a piece of media.
But you've watched Dogpack's original videos?
No. As I said in the video you watched.
Right, okay. So you've not watched Dogpack's video. Okay, this is exactly what I'm saying then. You've come in late to the story, right? Stylo put it great the other day.
How does that change the content of any of my claims?
Because I feel the reason you're coming to these positions and views, there's some aspect of it.
Not only the reasons matter when it's me.
Because I feel like
it's very important, and it discredits my whole video, makes my video bad. You don't apply that to SoggyCereal.
hang on. Who is saying that it discredits your whole video and makes it bad? Who is attributing praise to who?
The whole video is hyper-focused.
Okay, bro. Hang on wait a second. No, bro. You're not getting away with this, bro. You just put words in my mouth. I never said that. Did I say that?
I was characterizing what you said.
Yeah, incorrectly.
My interpretation.
Incorrectly. So now you're putting words in my mouth. I never said it could. I said there's some things I agree with. I don't think your video is totally awful and, there's no points made and it's terrible, right? I just think it would have been...
you think the video as a whole...
It would have been enriched by including more context about Dogpack because it contextualizes the story that's led us here that allows us to understand Soggy's actions in the context of what's come before and the narratives that are perpetuated off the back of Dogpack's dishonesty. So even if Soggy's made mistakes, which I agree...
It's a video about Soggy.
Right, okay, but the Soggy's video is all about Dogpack, and you've not watched Dogpack's videos.
And my point is, the missing context is blatantly obvious. So the omissions. Those are not impacted by any greater narrative. The story, the narrative, your Mr. Beast Marvel movie, doesn't impact the accuracy of my claims.
Okay, but then... Okay. I feel like you're really... This is backing up this idea that I've got of this lack of context and coming in late to the story. It's like you haven't watched this transpire and watched the story. Okay, so that's fine. You wanted to make a hyper-autistic, fixated video on Soggy. I think it's a hyper-fixated, autistic video with some good points. I don't think it's totally, out of the question that there's some good points in there. So what is the issue?
You had an issue with my stuff, right? You wanted to talk to me because you didn't like it.
Well, yeah, I voiced some of those.
So I was going too hard on him.
Yeah. I did, yeah.
And why is that a problem? What's too hard? Too hard why? Why is it too hard on him?
Well, it's too hard because we don't have that context of what has led to this circumstance where Soggy is making his video. And I'm not saying you can't criticize him.
How does that make it too hard? What the fuck are you talking about?
Because the way you're painting Soggy is at times is like, acting out of this crazed malice or, he's either severely retarded.
Malice.
He's either... Okay, that I'll give you that. That was a bit excessive. Out of this kind of malice or that he's like a crazed... He's like, what was it you said? A totally... I can't remember the exact wording. Some sort of deranged retard or something. Right?
Oh, severely retarded or evil.
And it's not a problem with... Listen... Call him an F-slur for all I care, okay? Right? It just feels like, for me, I'm looking at this and I'm seeing a guy who is naive, who has made mistakes, who has got issues, and they're worth calling out and they're worth criticizing. But stripping away the context of everything the Dogpack has done leading up to this and just hyperfixating on Soggy, it just leaves out such a key part of the story.
I was interested in, and the story, I'm not covering a story, I'm covering the video itself.
Okay, and I'm saying...
my concerns with the actual editing, the choice of inclusions, the choice of omissions.
And
none of that changes it. Why are you being a bitch on Soggy's behalf? He's not a bitch. He understands what I was doing and has no problem with me.
Wait a second. How am I being a bitch on Soggy's behalf exactly?
You're too hard on him, man. You need the context. Would what? Soften it?
Well, no. Okay, bro.
What
You're making out.
Mean? What the fuck are you talking about?
When I say too hard, I think I've explained it quite clearly. Okay, in that you are making claims about this guy that go beyond what I think it is, which is that he is, naive. He is naive and out of his depth and doesn't know what he's doing, and he's made mistakes for that reason. Right? What are you not understanding about this?
Severely retarded is a hyperbolic way of saying a similar thing.
Okay, sure.
Dumb, doesn't understand it. Doesn't get what's going on. I described him as being throat pumped by Mr. Beast's goons.
Yeah, but but then you say yourself it's hyperfixated, and you were being hyperbolic and aggressive in how you describe stuff. So that it was in the presentation intentionally then, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's called a polemic.
Right. So I'm going to watch that polemic, right? And I'm going to go, oh, okay, well, I think he's more naive and not as bad as Harmful is saying here, who's making a polemic. And so I'm going to disagree with that on its face. Why? I'm sorry that I can't discern your intent that you're doing a polemic, and actually the first video doesn't matter anymore, and the second video is what matters.
Chud.
And can you count to 6? Let me riddle you this. Like, bro, I'm just trying to engage with what you're saying in a plain way.
The video was entitled, I hate SoggyCereal, and you clicked on it, and were, oh, it's too harsh. You're being too hard on him.
Okay, bro, you are so fucking obnoxious here. I'm not just saying you're too harsh on him. I've taken it a step beyond that, and I've explained where I feel that lies, and you're just disregarding that to go back to, oh, you're just being too harsh on him, acting like I'm some soy bitch, okay?
You're asking me to make another kind of video.
Okay. Well then, if you don't want to make another video, that's fine, but I'm going to watch it as a polemic and go, okay, well, my view on this guy is here. Harmful seems to be over here from what he's saying, but apparently that isn't necessarily the case, and it's more, egregiously presented or harshly presented than maybe you do consider him. And I'm going to comment on the presentation because I can't discern in your fucking bold little head. Okay? Actually, wait, sorry. I don't want to get too insulting. I said that you watched that video and I just imagined like steam coming off of your bald head with anger at Soggy. Is that what happened?
Anger? I just thought it was really funny.
Okay.
Because of stuff on its face that I think should have been noticed by people but wasn't.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, yeah, there's probably some stuff that I looked at and I'm like, okay, that's a fair criticism. But there's also some stuff like the signature thing. And if you go back and look at my reaction, I made, the same point essentially in regards to if Robert De Niro signed a signature, that's valuable. If his PA does, it's not going to be as valuable by its nature. So that's a retarded point on Soggy's part. So, I feel like you're maybe coming at this like, I didn't have any criticisms of Soggy's video and I thought it was perfect, but I did. And some of the stuff I agree with because I'd said it. And there's a few points that I agreed with that were fresh. But there's also some stuff that I just feel is hyper-fixated. But then you say that's a product of your work.
I'm trying to remember what specific things you said you had a problem with. Was it just the Lakoya thing and that Dogpack's worse? What else was there?
I mean, yeah, I think it's that, there's a lacking of more context about the story that's led up to this. You say that's by design, so I guess that's just the way you wanted to do it. I think that you probably should have watched Dogpack's videos just to get as much context as possible before putting it together. But that's fine. You didn't want to do that. That's fine. I think there was some kind of like hyper-autistic nitpicking, like the thing about the clock. I think
the idea was, and I explained, that I wanted to see a video that would give me, the truth about Mr. Beast and Dogpack 404. I wanted to judge it as an overview, how it's effective for me, and my problems with issues surrounding it.
Right, okay.
Particularly focusing on some basic media ethics issues. I really don't understand any problems with doing that.
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
some of that stuff was good. And why there's any need to contextualize it as part of a broader story when my problem is, and also in part, this could be interesting to follow and it's part of its own story, in that I'm interested in Soggy. Like I said, literally him. When we're talking about credibility and behavior and the impact on it, it's not just that a piece is credible, it's that the guy is. It'll be interesting to see how he changes. It'll be interesting to see if this impacts him in the future, and so on and so forth, if he continues with any sort of investigative work.
Yeah, and I express some...
And like, let's say I look at this video, and I judge it like this, and then Soggy does another one that's on a broader situation, and I look at it in a similar way.
Okay, so...
Is that not its own greater context?
I feel like you're missing even further context, but this is a bit more niche, to be honest, okay? Maybe you did see this, I don't know. But I was this early skeptic of Soggy, and I criticised...
And like the flight stuff, the flight and doing the in-person interview, it'll be interesting to see if that echoes.
Do you want to talk some more, or can I make a point? Is that okay with you?
Sure, go ahead.
Right, thank you. I literally just started talking. Oh my fucking god, dude. Holy shit. Okay. So, when Soggy took his slot video down, okay, I thought he was doing that because he was walking back from the Dogpack criticisms, and I said as much. It was a very small fry thing. I put a tweet out about it. I don't even know if Soggy saw it, but I atted him and said, "What's going on here?" Right? And I took an L because I thought he completely walked back from it. But apparently he did put the video out. But that did give me like a level of skepticism with it. And whilst I thought there were good points made in the video, obviously I wanted to ask about the flight thing because that wasn't clear. And I did have some criticisms watching it, particularly the Cam Nugget stuff, which I don't think you did because maybe it was solved by then. So, you know, like I've already got a level of skepticism
too much
with this guy
to fully include. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. But you know, I'm just saying that, you know, you're saying, well, I'm the big skeptic. Don't you know I took down Candid? Listen, right? Sorry, that was a bit out of order. Okay, that was very good. To be clear, okay. I'm just fucking
just a personal interest.
Listen,
in this sort of thing.
Anyway, that is just one of my harmful opinions. Anyway, but you know, you're coming to me like I'm a fucking SoggyCereal cocksucker dick rider, right? And I'm like, no, I've got skepticism just like you. I've got issues just like you. And it was concerning to me. And I commented on the fact that he hadn't fucking updated his title or his comment. Like, why? Just do it. It's done. But you seem to want to do this gay fucking retard move of, you know, putting it in an interview. So I've got skepticism. I've got concerns. And I'm not looking at this Soggy guy thinking, well, the next video is going to be a smash hit and I'm just going to believe it. You know, I'd probably engage with a skeptical mind knowing that he's made mistakes here. So I don't disagree on that.
Sure.
Okay.
I expected there to be more stuff.
Well, I think we've had quite a good convo, haven't we? No?
I guess.
Are you disappointed?
I thought there'd be all sorts of fucking things. It's like one general, broad, boring ass thing.
Well, okay, but here's the thing. When you say, oh, the clock thing doesn't prove that it wasn't edited, I'm like, yes, sure, but I don't really care.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't really care that much about that. And I would even say the same thing about Soggy. Hopefully there's not a clip of me sawing out over that point when I watched it. I don't think there is. You know, I think I said, oh, it's funny how he's like addressing all these trivial points. But, you know, I think reflecting back on it now, it's like, well, you know, addressing these trivial points, I think, has opened him up to this kind of nitpicking aspect. So I think he probably should have just focused on the big stuff.
Right. Okay.
But then, you know, you say yourself that it was meant to be a very autistic focus. And so, you know, the nitpicking is part of it. Right, okay.
Normally, the thing that really gets me fired up is this kind of thing. I mean, whenever I see it, I try and push and make it happen. There was some fucking politics tuber who wasn't disclosing Amazon affiliate links, and I got him to fix that shit. This stuff pisses me the fuck off. That's why I hate him. I was being so hard because within the paradigm, within the lens of what I care about, he fucked up and fucked up and fucked up and fucked up. For what I care about, it's hit, 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 hit. Just as you don't care about the nitpicking, I don't care about the broader narrative, because my lens is, this is the shit I hate. Look at all this shit he's done that I hate. Here's why certain things are more important, such as related to appearance of impropriety, allowing in bias, undermining independence potentially. Provide why that's important. Paint the picture of, here's the negative image it gives. Makes it look like, if he's not dumb and making a mistake, if he's genuinely doing this on purpose and understands, that's fucking evil.
Sure.
He needs to clear this up so that this image doesn't appear anymore.
Yeah.
But then mostly, my care is on little, specific, like logical flaws, omissions of detail that is relevant. How that can pile up to undermine your credibility, which then does a disservice to the good points, because you have to trust that someone isn't omitting details. Even when the info there is good, you need to not have people doubting and thinking, but what if it's like this other thing? But what if it's like this other thing where I missed it out and I just don't know? How would I know?
Sure. So I guess that's going to be a difference of how much weight you're putting on the lack of disclosure. And I agree it's bad.
I'm looking at it as a piece of journalism, effectively, and as an investigative piece. And within that paradigm, how does it fall down in its function as that? not how does it fit into the story. The technical side of it, more so.
Yeah, no, sure. And you know, as I've always said, don't have a problem with that. Don't have a problem with, you know, addressing or looking at the issues or mistakes Soggy's made. You know, made this criticism myself, asked a question in the interview for that exact reason. It's just surprising to me that, you know, there's not this curiosity to look at what came before, to undernd this is a piece of media in response.
I told you why not.
Okay, we don't need to loop again on that.
Like
I get
Dogpack's
it.
first video.
Yeah.
No. Do you get it? I was on stream before. You asked why I didn't look at the Dogpack thing. It's because I have eye problems and the fucking flickery editing fucked me up and I had to stop.
Oh, okay. And I didn't know that. Is that what it was? Are you disabled? Why... Are you literally disabled?
Yeah. That's why, in part, the things I commented on about Dogpack would be stuff like when it's tweeted out, the little tidbits, and, you know, like when you do some coverage and I can have that on in the background and you contextualize it and stuff.
Hang on a sec.
I literally found it physically painful to watch the Dogpack stuff.
But you were saying to me that you didn't need to watch it for the purpose of this video. But now you're saying, well, I didn't watch it because I'm disabled, essentially.
No, that's why I didn't watch it back at the time.
Right. Okay.
And now I'm like, my critiques don't require the broader context. They just need to be able to demonstrate that there's been an omission, for instance. And for that, I use transcript search to just double check, like, what's on either side of what he's posting. Is there anything in that video that should have been included for further context? You can just do a sift and a scan.
And did you watch all of Soggy's video?
Yes. Okay. His wasn't as intense. I think maybe the later Dogpack videos could be watched. Like, I don't have a problem with holocausting Dogpack. Maybe I will for sport, especially like if he comes back again and it's not like old news to me anymore.
Okay, it's just, you know, you said earlier this idea that you're disinterested in the broader context and narrative about this, and you wanted to focus on Soggy, but now you're saying at the time you couldn't watch Dogpack's video because of your eye problems. That seems like a different concept of why you didn't watch it.
Back in the day, I wanted to try. So when it first came out, I wanted to try and couldn't. And so I dropped it. Okay. Now it's like I never really got a chance to get into it. I never got hooked on it, I guess. Not really interested in it. But this video, very interesting because I wanted to use it. I was like, here's my fucking chance to get in on this. This is going to rule. I can get a summary. I can look at it no problem.
So have you used Soggy's
video? I was let down by the piece of media.
Right. So, but have you used Soggy's video as a way of, in your mind, summarizing what happened with Dogpack then? Is that right?
That was what I was hoping for. Okay. And that's sort of not what I got. Think of it as like an autistic Gamergate, old school Gamergate ethics and fucking online media review of a piece of movie, like not piece of movie, piece of media.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I just don't know if the intent of that video is to give you in any way like a summary of what Dogpack has said or done or the narrative or anything around it. It is.
Yeah, it's not. It's not really. That's what I was hoping for. That was where my original disappointment came from.
Okay, but then
the form the disappointment took was like, holy fuck, this tickles my autism. And then when I heard that he had fucking flights paid for and didn't disclose it, I was like, I'm fucking on it.
Okay, so you're saying that you're annoyed with the video.
Like
you're saying that you're annoyed with the video because it didn't do what you, in your mind, intended it to do, and it was for another purpose, right?
What I was hoping it was initially, like a mild annoyance.
Okay. I mean, I don't know, dude. Sorry, go on.
Chatting about what I felt at the time when I was trying to watch it.
Okay.
And then my interest molded into something else when I learned the surrounding context and what was in it. This isn't like me making an argument. This is just fucking chit chat about what was up.
Okay. No, it's fine. Listen, this has been, you know, quite hostile, I feel. But I feel like you've been a bit annoying and like the Riddler sometimes.
I have a lot of caffeine.
Bro, why are you being like the Riddler all the time? What's going on? Is this what you like?
Oh, the count to 6 thing was was like I was suspecting Nick might not realize some of the timeline stuff. It doesn't matter. It's unfortunate that Nick wasn't here because I had some fun Nick stuff. Potentially, maybe another time if this develops and I can piss him off.
Yeah, sure. I mean, you know, I think Nick mentioned on his stream, I believe, that he thinks highly of you. So if I can arrange that, yeah, maybe we can make it happen.
Yeah. But I mean, don't worry too much because, or rather, how actually, for context, when you're talking about like, oh, going too hard, how much does me going too hard concern you? Just for like a gauge. This isn't. Don't worry, I'm not doing fucking debate shit. I'm just genuinely curious.
Okay. It was, I guess, you know, it's like a dissonance, I guess, because I'm listening to someone talk about this guy, and it's a different perception to what I've got, and it seems to be going harder than I think is justified based on my perception of it. And I'm just sat there thinking, this guy's like just a naive retard, and he's fucked up some things, and it's a product of his naivety. That's it.
I think a huge part of it is you just don't have the same cares as I do. Like, it's not even just that you have the broader context and you're like invested in the not in a way that means there's undue bias, but I mean you've been following it, you're interested, it's a piece of a bigger puzzle for you. For me, it just contains the things I'm interested in as it stands.
So, yeah, it's like you know, I feel like I've watched all 3 Lord of the Rings movies and you've only watched the last one, and that's the difference here, right? Like you're interested
I'm critiquing the cinematography.
Yeah, something like that.
The sets.
I don't know.
And that stuff.
And I'm like, but Frodo's at Mount Doom, dude. Don't you understand? He's traveled all this way, bro.
Do you know how he got here? Those feet look like fucking shit. It's fucked. And you're like, doesn't matter. You got to understand why it's like this, where you're not appreciating the story.
And another thing you mentioned as well is, hopefully you don't mind me saying this. I mean, listen, I'm happy to leak all of our DMs. As far as I remember, there's no felching or butt plug discussion, so we're golden, I think. But I think you mentioned that, like, your take here, or us talking here, is like, your video was quite specific in its intent. And even though this has been hostile, this is like more of your kind of fleshed out perspective, right? Is that right?
Not fair. More tailored to you and your kind of stuff.
Okay.
More fun for you that you might care about. I don't know. I was trying to make it fit more for your stream.
No, that's fine. Listen, look, it's
versus the divorce. You are probably frustrated about the divorce from the further context, especially in the first video. But that's the fucking point, because I'm using this as an example of why the things I care about, like the media ethics stuff, matter. I'm going, here's an example of why all this fucking stuff matters.
Yeah, sure. And the thing is, I agree on the media ethics thing of like the flights and stuff. I think we maybe disagree on some of the perspectives about just how influential stuff has been. But I think, say for example, the flights. Like we both agree that the flight thing should have been disclosed. And the fact that it wasn't is like, that's really stupid. He shouldn't have done that. And he should have disclosed it.
I have to say, I really appreciate him adding that disclosure and going into detail with the specific point by point of exactly how it happened. But it's just quite funny when one of the reasons is like, I wanted to make sure, okay, that there wouldn't be like other employees in the room signaling and there wouldn't be like prepared QA answers. It's like, bro, that's so much harder to do than just being prepped.
Yeah, and I, in fact, made similar comments of like, you know, he asked his friends and family, like, why the fuck are you asking your friend who probably doesn't know anything about journalism, right? So I had like similar criticism.
Yeah.
But I think the difference is I've gone, that's really stupid, he should have disclosed that. Whereas you've gone, that's really fucking bad. What else is missing? I need to look at this. And you've gone and dug deeper, right?
Yeah, to try and, I guess in part, force an understanding of how bad the appearance of impropriety can be, even if you're not doing something wrong. Because it's in your interest, in a way, to at least hypothesize about the worst. Because it burns you if you suck it in. And also, I guess, I mean, although I've been quite combative, I've been trying to understand your perspective. Okay. And I guess to try and bridge the gap somewhat, let's say some of the worst interpretations are true. Let's say there was more fuckery than we thought. But like Dogpack gets his comeuppance and a greater narrative good or a longer good versus a longer evil wins. I think it seems like you value that quite a bit, but perhaps if it lined up that I had these fucking problems and it wasn't against the guy who was genuinely fucked, you'd be less concerned. Because it's like, not to sound cringe or something, it's like there's a concern for, let's say my critiques disseminate, no matter how valid, they're impeding this effect of justice.
I can see where you're coming from. I think that, it's like your critiques, if they circulate and people think badly of Soggy, it's like, well, Soggy should have disclosed the flights, Soggy should have done certain things in order to avoid that, so that's fine. But
to me, the longer the forest perspective isn't just the Mr. Beast situation versus Dogpack and all of that. Mine isn't the forest, mine is the ocean. If people are not real fucking wary of this stuff, and it gets too accepted, they're going to accept shit that enables real fucked people to swoop in and get away with more fucked shit in the future. I'm concerned with tolerance for this stuff.
It's actually funny you say that, because I spoke to Stephen Asarch about this, and it's like access journalism is the term, right?
Yes.
Okay. And I agreed. Some people in chat were being a bit gay about it, and because Stephen's soy and woke. But I agree with him.
For a one-off, for a one-off, it does matter, because remember, in part for Soggy, I'm sure he's a sweet boy, okay? And he's very, very excited about this. Is his biggest thing he's done. Probably very excited about, I'm interviewing in the person. This is the fucking big leagues. That's going to have some kind of effect.
Yeah.
And we both agree about that being disclosed and stuff like that. An individual instance. What happens when, let's say, this becomes a repeat occurrence somewhere? I don't think Soggy will be doing that. Based on speaking to him, it seems like he gets it. To me, it seems like he gets it. But it's very important to me that in that the issues I have, in and of themselves, the style of issue, are not fucking tolerated at all. For instance, anything that could become an access journalism issue is just fucking hated and is death if you do it.
Yeah,
not literally.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think, it's like, and that's why when I spoke to him, I did ask that question, but I wasn't like super fucking gunning for him. Probably could have been harder. It's always difficult to strike the exact right balance. But he just kind of struck me as this naive fool, basically, who's made some mistakes. And I think when you were talking about it, it was like, you were criticizing him for this kind of bullshitting and stuff like that. I think that's where I got this kind of idea of you going too hard, is just, that dissonance. But the point I want to make is,
so for instance, when I say I don't care about that first video, I don't mean I don't want to talk about it. It's nothing. Blah 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 blah. I mean, I'm not like too invested in it, because that was in that Twitter thread with Nick Diori, and they were like argue about his videos being good, and it's like I'd rather talk about the newer one.
Sure. Okay. But I think just to finalize the point, and if it's okay with you, I mean, I don't know how much time you got, but there's a couple of actual other creators who have covered the story quite closely, and I think they want to hop in to either challenge me or you or both, if that's cool with you.
Yeah, sure. I've got time.
Great stuff. And also, just to be clear, the bridge has not been burnt. We still a chill. Okay, people are fucking acting crazy about this.
If you want me to say how I view this sort of thing,
okay,
you would have to do something fucked that is absolutely immoral, or you would have to do something severe to me. And by that, I don't mean like he said I did a bad thing, or like he thought this sucked. Like you'd have to physically harm me or harm someone I care about. That's
What about
the level. Otherwise.
What about the occasional bold comments that I've been making?
That's fine.
Honestly, with that, I feel like I'm just about to move into a glass house, so I should probably be careful with those. But just to wrap up the point I wanted to make, you know,
well, you don't need a glass house. Just make it out of all the strands that are falling the fuck out.
Dude, that's crazy. The final point I wanted to make is I did speak to Stephen A. Sarch. He was a bit gay and soy, but he made this point about access journalism, and we talked around about it a bit, about the disclosure and stuff, but came up to saying that, yes, this is a concern, this new landscape of influencers potentially receiving benefit, flights, etc., it not getting disclosed and then painting a positive story. Totally agree with that. I think it's a cancer, and we should be wary of that. So,
earned media is a very fucking big deal.
And on that, I think we completely agree. So I think that's a good point at which, unless there's anything else you want to hash out, we can bring in maybe some other people to...
Yeah, sure.
Okay, great. So first of all, now this guy, listen, you were yapping a bit earlier, but this guy, holy shit, dude, he is a yapper. So be warned, okay? I'm going to add him now.
Yeah.
You just need to, yeah.
I think it's my first time having like other people come on.
What about the Polish
pedo? I talked to him, but that was me coming on for the pedo, which got to be careful with phrasing there.
Okay, lollipop, dude. Okay, what would you be careful with the phrasing? What, like, you don't want to call him a pedo?
He's a pedophobe. He's scared of kids. To be clear, when I said pedophobe.
Okay.
It's not libel or slander.
Anyway, I'm adding Gamma now, so here we go.
I think that worked.
Yes, it did. Oh my god, Gamma. What the fuck do you want, mate?
I initially didn't want anything. I was just debating on whether I actually wanted to be a part of the conversation. But now that I'm here, I might as well like lay out where my problem lies.
Sure.
Okay, so really quick, what I was siding with Harmful Opinions for a large majority of the conversation until he mentioned that he didn't watch Dogpack's coverage, right? So the reason why that's a problem for me, and I'm going to try to lay this out very simply, is because you're being hypercritical of SoggyCereal, which you have every incentive to, right? That's your prerogative. You're allowed to do that. However, if you had watched Dogpack's coverage initially, you could have had those exact same criticisms and have hyper-analyzed it to somebody that is significantly more worthy of that criticism, right? Because in many cases, what you're criticizing SoggyCereal of doing, such as embellishing details or not adding further context, like in regards to the timer thing, or giving more like, critical thought to it, you could have done the exact same thing for Dogpack several times over. And not just that, but you could have made significantly more content on it as well. You could have had more to benefit from covering Dogpack initially than SoggyCereal. And that's not to say that you're not allowed to talk about SoggyCereal. It's to say that you would have had more benefit doing one than the other.
Okay, I could have. Maybe I still will. I'm not against it.
Yeah,
especially now that my eyes are improving. Like, a reason for me to not do it at this point is it feels like it's a little bit old news. Maybe this spiking it up matters, but I feel like if you're going to talk about the benefit to me, I think Mr. Beast's sort of earned media campaign, going around doing interviews and stuff, is going to eclipse anything on the topic at the moment.
Yeah,
if you're suggesting an incentive of attention.
Yeah, no,
I think
but what I'm...
There are high odds, I would suggest, that if Dogpack pulls something, I'll probably be talking about that. And that would be a reason to go into his old fucking videos that I couldn't watch.
The whole reason I bring that up, though, is because as some people have been saying, and this is probably going to sound a little bit too far, I guess. You can, I'll counter me, obviously. It's like it kind of does discredit a little bit the criticism you have of SoggyCereal because, again, if you didn't really fully look into like the further context of how many times Dogpack has lied, because there is an abundance of information, then again, like some of your criticisms of SoggyCereal do kind of fall. I'm not gonna say flat, but they're a bit weaker when like like putting comparison.
I'm not weighing them against each other.
Yeah, but like I'm not saying that you are. I'm just saying like they can be weighed, from a critical perspective outside, like such as us viewing it, and be said like, oh, well, if you didn't cover this.
Are you talking more about, more in terms of the actual reception, getting a better reception
by doing that rather than some sort of ethical requirement to do it.
No, I didn't think I meant it that deeply. I'm just saying is that
Oh,
like
okay,
some
okay.
like I'm just saying like I'm gonna put this as plainly as I can. Like for example in this stream, people would have been are more unwilling to hear your criticisms of SoggyCereal because you probably wouldn't have been as critical of Soggy had you had known all of the lies and deception that Dogpack was
No,
engaging
I'm
in.
way too autistic for that.
So you would have okay then I actually do agree with that because for the most part I do think that I would have held up Dogpack SoggyCereal to the same standards that I held up Dogpack. I was arguing that.
Right, okay. I don't quite get that bit.
No, what I'm saying is that I do agree with your with your prerogative of you saying like I would have hyperanalyzed it anyways regardless of whether you knew of these things beforehand or not.
Yeah, because it's all about like it's what I'm focused on. I mean, it's being called hyper-analyzed, whatever. Those videos took me like an hour and a half each, maybe tops. It's just like, blah. Here's what I think. I fucking hate this shit. Here's why.
Yeah, well, other than that, I didn't really have any other contention. I just wanted to more expand on that idea. Right. For the most part, I think we do align. I just wanted to say
I think Chud was unfair in calling you a yapper. This is fine.
Oh my
no,
God.
but like unless Chud wants to bring up another point that we can argue, I pretty much don't have anything else. Like I just wanted to expand just on that.
No. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything you want to hash out with me. I mean, to be honest with you, there doesn't seem to be many people that are that keen to hop on. But maybe people can ask questions from chat if you know.
Hello.
But go on. What if anything that I've said you disagree with? Or...
I was about to recommend somebody, but I'd rather just refrain and tap out here.
Okay.
All right, but thank you for having me on though.
No worries. Okay.
See you, bro. Nice to meet you.
Okay, listen, chat. There doesn't seem to be many creators on top on. If you've got any questions, by all means, shoot. Okay. Yeah. Oh, the yacht thing. Oh yeah, we didn't get to the yacht thing, did we? You said you included the yacht thing just for me.
Just for you, sort of, because I figured like the odds of you watching it beforehand are high, and I was talking about him echoing it, and that was sort of a meme thing when I looked through the video on a stream, but I wanted to set it up so that someone would watch that, and then I'd roll it into the point of him echoing Dustin with the example of talking about Mr. Beast hiring what's-his-face Delaware from Best Buy as like this repeated pattern that's cause for concern, potentially, creating an appearance at the very least of he's just reading what this guy says and he's not even a primary source. It looks puppeteerish, even if it's not.
Not. Okay. I guess, having followed the Dogpack stuff quite closely, I come more from the perspective of Dogpack, I believe, intentionally does things and puts things in his video to put across a certain impression because he is very knowledgeable about, the kind of, nuts and bolts of YouTube videos, how to manipulate people. It's how he got the job at Mr. Beast in the first place. He posted a bunch of videos on Reddit talking about how great he is at manipulating the audience with thumbnails, to put it very simply, right? And so when he does something like Yacht and includes the picture, the obvious intent that is meant to be taken away from that is, Mr. Beast was staying on, not obviously gold plated, but the idea of like this luxurious big yacht and he's like chilling, vibing on this yacht, and then the response is, well, it's not a luxurious yacht, it's a rusty barge. Maybe arguably the terminology came from him, but then you see in the video, the barge that he stayed on was just that. It was fairly described as a rusty barge. So it's a total contradiction to what Dogpack has stated in his video and in terms of what he's implied to the audience.
Yeah. So your comment on it is yes, but it's an effective critique of Dogpack. It's correct and true.
It's correct, but I don't think there's a good enough evidence to show that this has definitively been influenced. If it was like a nice looking boat and he called it a rusty barge, I'd be like, well, yeah, he's got that language from there. But maybe he's been somewhat influenced by it, perhaps, to say that, but it definitely could be described fairly as a rusty barge if actually it's, to me, correct or reasonable.
Good, fairly, yeah. I mean, he also echoes the luxury over and over again, but it's not about his critique being correct or not. It's about the perspective of what once
So there's the blend of here's the reasons to doubt credibility. Here are suspect things. Here are things that you might start to doubt and be suspicious about, having taken that sort of credibility hit.
But yeah, so for me, it's like, right, he could have worded that differently or said it differently. He could have found some distance between how it was. Like, this is where someone who I think is more knowledgeable and is categorically independent, i.e. haven't had flights paid for, etc., and has more journalistic knowledge and integrity, would be able to word it in a way to distance himself, because he'd recognize, well, if I word it like that, that's how he's worded it. What do I actually think about this looking at the circumstances? That's how I'm going to describe it. So
yeah, and also I think,
but that's nitpicking. I think that's
part
nitpicking.
of it. Well, yeah, a lot of it is.
Okay.
Like, what's wrong with that?
I mean, I just don't, bro. I mean, there's nothing like wrong with it. If you want to nitpick a video, that's obviously your discretion. I just personally found it very irritating to have all these little points nitpicked. I don't think there's a. I mean, this is looping again, but there's a broader context.
I mean, yeah, that's the vast majority of what I do. The vast majority of what reaction content is.
Bro, I watch you react to, like, you know, lesbian trans weirdos, and I love it. And you're not nitpicking there; you're just abusing them. Maybe that's the problem.
I think they probably have plenty of nits.
Like, dude, oh my god!
I thought you didn't like it when I went too harsh on people. Jeez.
Well, no, but some people deserve it. Okay, dude, let's not say that. That could be too ass.
You fucking what?
No, because I watched one video, and it was, dude, I watched it earlier because I knew we were talking, and I wanted to, you know, inoculate myself from any bridge burning. So I watched your video about, what was it? Actual fandom. Remember that one?
Yes.
And it starts off the fandom initiative like they're the fucking Avengers.
Yeah. It's unbelievable. It's a sickness.
I actually used to know that guy. Actual fandom.
People are warning me. They're saying, like, he'll fucking show up and say things. It's like, fine. Okay. You'll never get rid of him. Fine. Thanks for the 2 cents across your lifetime from watching all my videos.
It's
what you want.
It's incredibly autistic and probably lost the time, but I was actually in this little gay group of lefties that was trying to, you know, do some sort of gay project like that. I didn't fucking, you know, ended up fucking burning away quite quickly, I think. But who knows? A different path. I could have been part of the fandom initiative, and we'd be on opposite sides even more. Wouldn't that be terrible?
I'm not even sure we're on opposite sides.
No, we're not.
Because here's the thing: if you're talking about the bigger story in there's Dogpack and there's Soggy. I don't not hate Dogpack.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna add,
because even the tiniest nuggets I have, I know he fucking sucks. The CP thing is catastrophic.
Okay. Beckett wanted to be added.
Hey, yeah. No, I basically had this conversation with Tommy C yesterday.
I bet that was totally worthless, wasn't it?
No, it was good. It was good. I think Tommy was right with a lot of it. But I have a general question. Like, with the response to, like, the video you've put out, it didn't surprise me at all from, like, watching you for years. Because, yeah, this is obviously what you're going to care about. But
I'm a Gamergate autist.
Yeah. That was actually literally what I said.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
But at the beginning of the year, I got, like, I had my own little Spurgy drama where I went after the Progressive Victory lot for not disclosing working with a political organization and promoting it to their audience. And the pushback
connected to the cherry thing, that was money from PV.
I think so. That was the Brenner Party.
Sorry to derail you.
No, you're fine. But the pushback I got was the, like, toothpaste is kind of out of the bottle now. It's not the Wild West anymore, and, like, the expectations are different.
The raped can't be unraped.
Yeah. Do you think that, like, the arguments you're making aren't hitting in the same way because the internet's changed and how people perceive stories like this have changed?
In which specific way do you mean?
Well, you're talking about credibility, but when you look at, like, kind of numbers and where audiences are now, it's like if you put out slop content and kind of side with a mob that just wants their ideas confirmed, that's a lot of money and a lot of views. Whereas on this side, questioning these things, all you're going to get is criticism and, you know, shit, right?
Yeah, I don't know if that's too. That feels like it's connected to human nature, and it's like an expression of that via the web. It's been enabled by it. But what consequence are you concerned of from that, or are you concerned?
Well, it's not so.
Well, I mean,
I think
for not grasping on too well.
I think when I look at the criticisms coming in, my gut reaction is, Dogpack spread a lot of shit. A lot of people have caught flack for going after him, and when anyone puts out any criticism of Soggy's video, I think there's this gut reaction of, oh shit, this is going to be used to discredit Soggy, and then down the road discredit anybody who's sided with Soggy or like used any of his evidence to go after us. And I think because that seems to be what's happened, because people will just nitpick at little points. So it's like there's maybe a fear that you're creating ammunition, even unintentionally.
Sure, that is part of it. But I guess I'm part of the changed internet because I just assume that's going to happen. And with my stated goal of, making sure people don't accept these little things, and sometimes bigger things, I feel like you just weather that and hope you'll just chipping away, convincing someone that this shit matters, at least entertain people, little fraction of the people who watch it, maybe care a bit more about this sort of stuff. And I don't see it as being too apocalyptic that this happens.
No, I mean, again, it took a while talking to Tommy just to get to the point of, well, you don't want to talk about Dogpack or Mr. Beast, but yeah, the wider context of what has happened does matter. It is going to matter to people. So yeah, I get the media critique. I just think I think it's just going to be like weirdly received. But yeah, I just wanted your opinion on.
It's not pragmatic.
Change. Yeah, I mean, because there is like, I guess, a larger thing here. I hate that criticism because that's what everyone said. When Jake the Viking came out, everyone was like, well, don't talk about Jake the Viking, talk about Mr. Beast and Chris Tyson.
Right. But when you're talking about that kind of weird reception, to what end? Do you mean to mass the most success? Like if I did an overview, blam, it would have been...
Well, I think that if you do like one of the criticisms here with Soggy stuff is because Soggy's video is essentially going after Dogpack, and therefore like he's missing potentially pressing some of those accusations towards Beast. But if you're making a response to Soggy and also missing some of those accusations and wider context towards Dogpack, isn't that a criticism that you'd also suffer from?
Sorry, I lost the trail.
Yeah, you talk too much, Beckett. Just fucking summarize it in one point, for fuck's sake. Come on, dude.
And critique him for not going after Beast.
Well, I mean, you're pointing out the things that kind of... Soggy's not pressing the point on why that call happened, for example, but his interest in talking about it is the fact that Dogpack is saying, I use sources, I vet everything, and then I have to release things to protect anonymity. But when Soggy presents that call, he's showing that that's not what Dogpack's doing. He just took a call, took all the context out of it, and presented it. But like that context matters, right?
That sounds like a flaw in Soggy's video, that context wasn't in his video.
Yeah, I agree with you, but it's also... But then you're still missing the like original context of Dogpack leaving it out. That's why not having Dogpack's context is a problem.
If I'm not trying to... So, I'm critiquing the video as a video, in part for its effectiveness. The same way you're talking about the flaws that you see that I have. To me, that itself is another criticism of his video for not putting it across and being effective. So I guess it's recursive. I don't know.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, cool.
Right, Beckett, you've come on and said a bunch of bullshit. We're sick of it, okay? Get out of here now. Thanks for coming on, mate, okay?
That's funny. Yeah. Peace.
Okay, mate, dude. Okay, I thought maybe...
And a big part of it is taste. The way I'd want to see Dogpack blasted, part of it is the taste.
Okay. Yeah, I'm glad someone brought the yacht thing up because that was I think it just speaks to probably some of those differences we were talking about. But I don't know, this has been a good convo. I think chat has, been, well, I always see the comments that are saying I'm raped. But to me, it's kind of split. But I'm thinking, am I more raped here? Possibly. I mean, at the end of the day, it was a fun convo. So thanks for coming on. Is there anything else you want to bring up?
There is something I want to tell you. And it's a very important point that can change your life.
Okay, mate.
You can't get raped if you just consent.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, brother.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh. Dude, I like that. Dude, that was great. Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, I just think, you know, fundamentally there is this difference that we're coming at this from, you know? Yeah. I like him as well. I like him too. Styler doesn't though. Jesus, Styler was fucking going insane in that call. My eyes didn't hurt from Dogpack's video. You got mogged by the bold Riddler. You couldn't match his riddles. I mean, look, I should have, you know, obviously I did spurg out a bit. I'll admit I spurged out a bit. But bro, it's just like, I don't know. I just wanted some plain talking. And at times it just felt like he put on this, you know, he put on this little fucking Riddler, you know, the little Riddler's hat that he wears in the film. Fucking Jim Carrey or whatever. Yes, the Candid Saga. The Candid Saga. Yeah, stuff like that is why I look up to Harmful Opinions. And I'm like, yeah, I think this guy's often got good points about things. Do you think Soggy was potentially as bad as Dogpack? Or was he just stupid? I don't think he was as bad as Dogpack. I think this is the crazy narrative that people have perpetuated, you know? I think that Dogpack's intent has flooded into his content and caused way more foundational problems that can't be fixed, you know? Like not disclosing the LaCoy Hill thing. And, you know, clearly explicitly being like a disgruntled ex-employee with an axe to grind, rather than someone, as he tried to claim, who was just trying to bring the truth to the world about how bad the Beast was.